Good morning.
Good morning.
This thing off for a minute.
Just state your name and who you represent, or yourself.
Brandy, myself, and my deceased mom, who
Okay.
succumbed to domestic violence trauma in 2017. Bear with me, this is not easy at all.
Take your time.
Chairman Miller, committee members, and fellow Louisiana citizens. Louisiana prides itself in being a pro-life state. Being pro-life doesn't, however, end at 40 weeks gestation. Survivors of domestic violence are among one of the many vulnerable populations who are at times unable to defend themselves or speak up. That is where the legislature can help. Passing HB 55 by Representative Amy Freeman would be a much-needed step in that process. Not only was I conceived in sexual violence, I live with severe brain trauma. Brain scans from last year. That hole in my brain literally exists today. From enduring brutal domestic violence in utero. At the age of 6, I also watched my sperm contributor leave my mom to die. We then relocated to Baton Rouge, and it was a grueling process for her to get TROs, then divorced, at which point she was granted a permanent injunction, which I have about 10, 15 pages of right here. That did not stop her abuser from his goal of making her life miserable. However, I owe forever gratitude to the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, especially Captain Strickland, who is now retired, and other law enforcement agencies that gave me 25 more years with my mom before she finally succumbed to domestic violence trauma. Thanksgiving Eve 2017. Looking back on my mom's protective order of permanent injunction, it's obvious that even after surviving a domestic violence attempted murder in 1990, and even with everyone knowing 99% of the 8-foot-long criminal record, my sperm contributor being from crimes against my mom, she had to jump through a bunch of hoops and red tape that was overwhelming and, in my opinion, unnecessary before the order was finalized. Mind you, at the time, my mom had a disabled child, me, and 2 other children to raise, which she did like a champ in spite of her own battles. Sitting in this room, at this table, ironically in this very chair as hard as the last time I was in this committee room on domestic violence. It was to support my mom 6 years ago. She bravely sat here and advocated for legislation to pass. Now it's my turn to do what I do best for others, as she always encouraged me to do when I came up here. Allowing survivors to affirm versus get affidavits makes the risky legal step of escaping abusive situations easier. You already took that notary's thing out, but I'm going to read this anyway. Notaries are not charged with deciding someone's honesty, and those in true danger should not be punished. I completely agree that people who make false claims about such traumatic experiences should face consequences, but you have more of those who need the ability to affirm than others. Affirmations also have the same legal effect as affidavits do. Let the legal system handle perjury issues for the sake of those like my mom who have documented histories of abuse and or physical signs. If this bill, God forbid, doesn't make it out today, we could have countless more victims end up in the condition my mom currently is. I'm sure y'all can see that box. That's her urn in my apartment right now. And I wish the pain I've endured since the morning I climbed through her living room window on no one. I witnessed in the 34 years, 2 months, and 10 days that I was blessed to have my mom more heartache and effects of trauma from domestic violence than many could handle. I'm open about some, but not everything. On behalf of survivors not strong enough to speak up, please support HB 55 and end the maze of hoops they have to jump through to get the protection they deserve. Thank you for your time, and bear with me through what is so far the hardest day of my life this year.
Thank you, Ms. Brandy. And thank you for your courage and your strength for being here. And again, for your loss, we certainly can't understand how much that is on you, and how much you've lost. So
one more thing I'd like to say, if you don't mind. I watched. Sure. I was out of town when y'all had the committee last week, but when Representative Jefferson said that sometimes you leave with nothing, I don't remember if it was on this bill or 375. The day I watched my dad try to kill my mom. We were in a rural area where we didn't have a phone. They didn't have phone service. The only way my mom escaped was our landlord had a diesel truck and the road was gravel. We lived in the middle of a sugarcane field about 2 hours away from here. My dad, when he was choking the life out of my mom and leaving a rope burn out around her neck that lasted for over 6 months, he heard the diesel truck and ran out the door. I ran outside screaming, and our neighbor that had a phone came outside and asked me what was wrong. When the cops got there, all we could leave with was the stuff on our backs. The next day, they gave her 15 minutes to go get I wasn't physically as independent as I am now. So they gave her 15 minutes to get what she could of ours, including all my assistive devices that I needed. You sometimes do leave with absolutely nothing but the clothes on your back. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you for bringing it up last week.
thank you. Representative Mike Johnson for a question.
Ms. Brandy, what you have done this morning, I've not seen a braver person testify. And what you did this morning, you spoke for thousands of people and your mother, people who can't be here to testify. And I've just not seen that much courage from anybody in a long time. And after having heard you testify, I don't see how anybody can vote against this bill. So your words and your genuineness is a gift to us, and I know it comes at a cost to you, but I just want to say thank you. I'm inspired to do the right thing on this even more, and just God bless you, and God bless you from all of the people that might avoid this because of your courage and bravery.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Representative Amade for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to take a moment and echo what my colleagues have said. Your strength and your courage are going to really be a blessing to so many others, more than you can imagine. And just as a mom, I believe that most every mom who sees and hears this would agree with me when I say, I bet your mom's really proud of you.
Oh, she is.
Thank you for being tireless and coming here all the time and sitting through these long meetings and speaking with us from your personal experience. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Amade. I think that's all the green cards to testify. And again, thank you for being here,
You're welcome.
Ms. Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy.